Alright, for this lesson we're going to be solving proportions by using cross products. So we are solving proportions. Now cross product, you will also hear this be called cross multiplication because product means multiply. And so for two ratios, the product of the numerator is one ratio and the denominator is the other is a cross product. If the cross product of the ratios are equal, then the ratio forms are proportional. So what we mean is if I was to take 2 times 15, I get 30. Well, what if I take 5 times 6? What do I get? I get 30. So if they're the same, they are proportional to each other, and we can do this via cross products. Yes, in the last one we did something similar where we did 2 times 3 and 5, 2 times 3 and 5 times 3. 2 times 3 gives us 6, 5 times 3 gives us 15. So you see these similarities for how we're doing these. So in proportions, if I was to look at this kind of an algebraic way, A over B equals C over D. B and D cannot be 0. We talked about how we cannot have 0 as a denominator as an undefined statement. So the same is going to be true when we're working on these. You can use cross product rule to solve proportions with variables. And so if I'm missing a piece, so in this one you notice that M is our unknown. That is actually what I'm solving for. So I'm still going to use cross products to solve this. So I take the denominator and multiply it by its opposite numerator and vice versa. So for this one, 15 times M, well, that will give me 15 M. And 9 times 5, that will give me 45. And we can write that out. M times 15 gives me 15 M. And 9 times 5, we can see the results of that give me 15 M equals 45. So now we're just at a simple step equation. I divide both sides by 15, and I get M equals 3. So you can think of this also as 5 times 9, we multiply and then we divide. 5 times 9 is 45 divided by 15. And so you can take a little bit of a shortcut here if you don't want to get down into the equation form. Either way will work out. And so try this one out on your own. So pause your video.
Okay. Now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to use the cross products to solve this proportion. So we're going to take the M times 7 and the 6 times 14 because we know that the cross products are equal in a proportion, and this is telling us that they are proportional. That's what the equal sign tells us. So 7 times N is 7M, 6 times 14 is 84. We know that to solve this, we divide both sides by 7, and we get M equals 12. We know last year that you guys heard the rule, cross multiply and divide. That is exactly what we're doing. We're taking 6 times 14, which was the 84, and dividing by 7, which gives us the 12. This is why you are allowed to cross multiply and divide, because it's actually an equation that we are setting up. All right. Now, it's important to set up the proportions correctly. Each ratio must compare the corresponding quantities in the same order. The same order is what's important here. So now they're going to give us a word problem, and we have to set up the proportion. So suppose a boat travels 16 miles in 4 hours and 8 miles in X number of hours. So that's our unknown. At the same speed. Either of these proportions could represent situations. So we're going to write 2 of them to show you how you can set it up. The first way that you can set it up is miles over hours for both of them. So notice that the miles is the numerator in both situations, and the hours is the denominator in both situations. You just need to make sure that you have the same thing on the top and the same thing on the bottom in this case. So if we were to solve this one, we would get the same answer as we would be to solve this one. In this one, they have miles on top and miles in the denominator of one, and hours in the numerator and hours in the denominator of the other. Both of these proportions will solve the problem the same way, But you have to have them set up in one of these orders. We will probably use this one the most in class, but both ways will work. All right, here are the 4 problems we would like for you guys to try on your own and bring them to class tomorrow. Thank you.